Hi, I'm Andy Glass with WorkshopAddict.com. Today we're going to take a look at Bosch's 6-inch dual mode random orbit sander polisher, model number 1250DEVS. Now this includes the 6-inch sander itself, a 6-inch soft backing pad, an auxiliary handle, sanding disc, a pad wrench, and a dampening ring. Now we're going to go ahead and cover a few specs, then we'll walk you around the unit, show you its features, and then we'll discuss a little bit of my first impressions and who this unit's for and who's going to buy it. This sander is 6.5 amps and it's variable speed from 3100 to 6600 oscillations per minute, or 270 to 600 RPMs per minute in turbo mode. This unit has two modes, oscillating mode and a turbo mode, which basically means it just rotates and it doesn't have any oscillating functions. The disc size is 6 inches and it has a dust collection port that runs underneath your handhold and comes out to the back of the unit so the dust hose doesn't get in your way. It has a 3/32 or 2.5 millimeter eccentric offset, and it's 12 inches long with 5.3 pounds in weight. So it's a bit of a larger sander with a little bit of heft to it, which is good because this thing is certainly powerful and gets the job done. The orbit diameter is 3/16 of an inch and the orbit radius is 3/32 of an inch. This unit has soft start, so it's going to be nice and easy once you turn on this tool, and then it's going to ramp up to the setting that you have it at. It also has constant response, which maintains the pad speed as you apply load to the sander itself. With covering the specs, let's go ahead and dive into the unit. Let's walk around it and I'll show you its features. Let's start out to the back of the unit with the power cord. The power cord is 13 feet long, so it's going to provide plenty of reach in the workshop or on the job site to reach the task at hand. It also has a little rubber holder for the Allen key, which loosens the sanding pad on the unit. If we get a little bit closer to the unit itself, we look at the main power switch. The main power switch is on the side here. You push it forward to turn it on and then pull it back to turn it off. It's in a really comfortable position whether you're right or left-handed. I find myself grabbing it with my left hand as I'm left-handed and just flicking it with my index finger. If you are right-handed, it's really comfortable for your finger. I like the location of this because it is out of the way, so you're able to have a really comfortable grip on the sander itself and you're not worried about trying to work around a power switch. If we get a little bit closer, you'll see this red switch here with this little black button on the top. This is your dual sander switch. So it has a nice little graphic here to show you which position it needs to be in to have what mode. The position it is right now, it's in the turbo mode or non-orbiting mode, which means it's just going to spin rather than have an oscillating to it. So it's going to be very, very aggressive and it's going to remove a lot of material very quickly. Once you're comfortable with the material removal, you're able to push the black button, move the switch over, and throw it back into random orbit mode and get a really nice fine finish. Obviously you have to change sanding pads according to the grit you would like. But when you're removing a lot of material very fast, typically I would use 80 grit sandpaper, throw it in the turbo mode, and get the job done very, very fast. On the top of the unit, there is a rubber overmold right here, and it's very, very comfortable to put your hand and use it, apply pressure to the sander if you need to. Another nice little hand position is this auxiliary handle here. This auxiliary handle is removable. You simply unscrew it, and it can either go on the right side of the unit or the left-hand side of the unit. If you are right or left-handed. Me being left-handed, a lot of tools are designed for right-handers, so this is really nice to be able to utilize an auxiliary handle on this unit. If we look at the sanding pad and the sander itself on the bottom, now I just have some Mirka Gold sandpaper on here. That's what I had on hand here. But the sanding pad is, the one that comes with it is very firm. It's very nice. Unless you have a lot of contours on your projects, you do not want a soft sander, otherwise you will round over your edges. A nice firm sanding pad like this will keep your corners nice and crisp and prevent roundovers. The dust collection pattern in the sanding pad itself is standard in itself, where it will take nearly everything. One thing I don't like is it's kind of closer to the center. I wish there was a little bit more dust collection on the edge, but pair this sander up with their dust extractors like the VAC 140A. This is nearly just dust free. It's a phenomenal unit and a phenomenal combination. On the underside of the unit, you'll see, sticking with the dust collection, is the dust collection port that runs from the sander, right above the sander pad itself. It runs underneath your fingers and then comes back up, joins the back of the unit, and then the port is right here on the back. This lends itself to keeping your hands in a very nice, comfortable position, and then keeping the hose out of your way, and it's not something you're going to have to deal with often. So that they designed that very well. One thing I almost forgot is the variable speed dial on the back of the unit. It's this red dial that has 6 settings, 1 to 6, 1 being the lowest and 6 being the highest. It goes from 270 RPMs to 600 RPMs in turbo mode, and then in oscillating mode, 3100 oscillations per minute to 6650 oscillations per minute. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed the walkthrough of this 6-inch dual mode sander by Bosch. I've had this in my shop for a couple weeks now. I've done 2.5 projects or so with the sander itself and a whole bunch of testing. Just like any other sander, you need to make sure you have a very high quality sandpaper that you use. I'm a big fan of just your big name brands. Bosch makes excellent sandpaper as well. So no matter what sander you guys are using, make sure you're using high quality sandpaper. My first impressions of this unit, it's phenomenal. The dual mode, the turbo mode, is just a luxury to have on certain types of applications. We specifically brought this sander in the shop for end grain cutting boards. End grain is very hard to sand. It takes a long time just due to the nature of the end grain cutting boards and the application. We brought in this sander and utilized the dual mode, the turbo mode. We threw in some 80 grit sandpaper, and we cleaned up the drum sander stripe marks that came out of the drum sander. I think we have 150 grit in there. Throw this bad boy with some 80 grit sandpaper, put it on turbo mode, and I tell you what, guys, you run through your grits, and I think we were doing a cutting board in probably under 10 minutes, which is insanely fast compared to other sanders we have in the shop. This sander can also be a polisher. They have some other polishing pads and things like that. I can't speak to that because that's not in my realm, but if you do need something of that nature, this sander can do that as well. I would highly recommend this sander to a woodworker, a refinisher, someone on the job site that needs to be very aggressive, maybe a painter. They need to strip some paint and get some stuff off with heavy material removal. Let me know below what you guys think. I hope you guys enjoyed this quick little overview of the 6-inch dual mode sander by Bosch. If you guys have any questions, comments, or concerns, please leave them below. I'll be happy to provide some feedback. I'm Andy Glass with Workshop Addict. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.